It's midnight in Magdeburg, eastern Germany. We've been told that in this hotel, the party which has shaken German politics is holding a meeting. In the car park, bumper stickers with the D of the DVU. And fashionable insignia popular with German fascists. We attempted to speak to DVU members outside, but this is a party which doesn't welcome attention. Strange when they've just scored a stunning electoral result. Clearly unhappy hotel manager said he knew nothing about any DVU meeting. The people hiring his room, he said, were a company called ZX Online. But no such company exists. So who exactly was it then who'd been using the conference room?
The DVU meeting? No.
Okay. But later the hotel confirmed that indeed there'd been a DVU meeting that night.
This is the way they work. They rent a room somewhere, give a false name and address, maybe a fictitious company name. If it's an internal meeting of the DVU, they will call each other up. It is all done in a very conspiratorial way. This means that the meeting happens behind closed doors and nobody knows anything about it.
Magdeburg is the capital of Sachsen-Anhalt, a state which was part of the old East Germany. The recent elections to the state parliament here have shocked the rest of the country because the DVU had 16 MPs elected with nearly 13% of the vote. That's almost 200,000 voters, but at the weekly market we couldn't find any of them.
Nee, auf keinen Fall. Nee. Natürlich nicht.
No? The election result is still causing plenty of soul-searching here, particularly over the DVU's stunning success with the youth vote. In fact, thanks to the DVU, politics in this part of Germany is now being reshaped. No mean achievement. But for all that, the DVU in this town still has no party office, no administration, no organisation, and apparently not even anyone prepared to say that they voted for it. So what is this phantom party, and who's behind it? Armed with a list of the newly elected MPs, we began trying to pin at least one of them down to an appointment. But it soon became obvious that none of them wanted to talk to us, so we would have to go looking for them. The party's appeal is not confined to the big cities. They also picked up votes out in the sleepy villages. This is Körbelitz, just outside Magdeburg, home to MP Veronika Brandt. She's meant to be the party's press officer here, but her husband told us despite that she was fed up with the media and had gone to ground. So he gave us a flavour of her views.
I don't mind the foreigners who pay their taxes like everyone else. They should be allowed to stay. They have the same rights as anybody else. But the ones here who are just criminals, they should go back to their own countries and commit the crimes there and not here in Germany.
It's undoubtedly a popular refrain. Many Germans who wouldn't even consider themselves to be on the right feel their country simply has too many foreigners. This is Neu-Olvenstedt, a notorious housing estate in Magdeburg with a reputation for racial violence. It also has 25% unemployment and the rate's even worse among the young. The DVU did particularly well with young people, winning a third of the votes of the under-30s. This is also where another MP lives. When we went to call on Kirsten Helmecker, a woman looking suspiciously like the picture on her election leaflet brushed past us. Was that Frau Helmecker? Andrew van BBC. Frau Helmecker?
Nee, das ist Frau Helmecker. Ich bin ja Braunsberger.
He told us the MP was at an unknown address and not available. But the story became more confused. First he told us he was Kirsten Helmecker's husband, then that he was just a friend, and finally that he was her bodyguard.
Telefonisch bedroht worden mit.
Yes, she's been threatened over the telephone. It's not good. The callers said that they might hurt her or even kill her, and the German police won't step in before anything actually happens. That's why I have to be here, to protect her.
Helmut Kohl promised East Germany blossoming landscapes after unification. Almost a decade later, this is the reality. 15,000 people used to make heavy machinery here. When the factory closed down, the promised Western investment never arrived. Decisions like that have helped give this state the worst unemployment in Germany, and they fueled resentment against the establishment. A few streets away and the home of another DVU senior member. Ingrid Spors features on the party campaign leaflets. She's not an MP yet, but she's next on the list to become one if anyone above her drops out. Frau Spors did at least say a few words to us.
Ich habe Ihnen nichts zu sagen.
And the words were, I have nothing to say to you. Frau Spors? We kept trying with others, and we kept getting the same response. It was the same story too with the National Party leadership in Munich. There would be no interview there either. So time to turn to the security service, which monitors those considered a threat to the German state.
Also dies ist ein besonders bezeichnendes Plakat hier mit dem Schwein dort oben.
The DVU spent more than £1 million on this election, and they paid to have more than 1 million leaflets delivered. It's all been examined by Werner Sprado and his colleagues at the German equivalent of MI5. They've been keeping an eye on the DVU for more than a decade.
Und wir führen natürlich Informanten.
Of course we have informers within the organization to find out how it works, what these people talk about behind closed doors, to understand their real goals, which they don't state in public. All this is done to find out about the real aims of Dr. Frey and his party.
Dr. Gerhard Frey is the mastermind behind the DVU. A millionaire press baron from Munich, he's had a lifetime's involvement in far-right politics, and when he fell out with other extremist leaders, he set up his own party, where he could be the undisputed boss.
Die Partei ist an sich Dr. Frey.
The party is in fact synonymous with Dr. Frey. He finances it, and it is the outlet for his right-wing view of the world, which includes xenophobia, dislike of democratically elected politicians, and opposition to any condemnation of the Third Reich. He has brought out publications for a long time, and now he wants to take his party into parliament. The DVU is his life, and he is very ambitious.
The DVU's success here has thoroughly shaken politics in this state. Thanks to them, the biggest party, the SPD or the Social Democrats, have been unable to form a government. The SPD must now choose between a coalition with the ex-communists or one with its arch-rivals, Chancellor Kohl's Christian Democrats. In fact, talks with the Christian Democrats broke up in failure today. It's all evidence of the damage done by the DVU, but the state premier simply has to battle on.
Diese drei Parteien werden mit Sicherheit gegen diese DVU.
I'm sure that these three parties will work together against the DVU. I cannot tell you how they will exactly work to form a new government. For that, we're currently involved in various talks. As I said, in the fight against the DVU, all three parties will definitely stick together.
Back on the Neu-Olvenstedt estate, all this cuts no ice with young men like these. Those who voted at all voted DVU, and their contempt for the establishment parties is almost palpable.
Diese Partei setzt sich in erster Linie ein für deutsche Probleme.
The DVU looks firstly after German problems, and after Germany, not the whole of Europe. It's not like the capitalists and the CDU and the SPD who are backing Europe. All they're interested in is future markets in Europe, where they can make money.
Wo sie später dran sich wieder reinstoßen.
There's a national election looming in Germany, and Dr. Frey is looking for a national breakthrough. The evidence here is that with the young especially, there's plenty of anger and resentment to tap.
It was Andy Bell reporting. Right, the highlight of the week now, back to our email competition. You suggest